This is PowerPoint 5.2 for class inequality. You're going to take these notes in your notebook, Cornell Notes style. If you're unsure how to do that, please go back and view the Cornell Notes video on Google Classroom. The title for today is Class Inequality. Your due now is to provide one difference between rich and poor. And the objective for today is in order for students to identify the features of class inequality, they will take notes and analyze an article on minimum wage. For today, you can pause this video at any time to ensure that you get all of the notes that you need in your notebook. At the end of this lesson, you are going to complete an exit ticket that you will have to turn in to me for credit. The exit ticket can be found on Google Classroom, but can also be found inside of the room in the blue folders. Again, you're setting this up Cornell Notes style, so please be sure to leave a few inches on the left-hand side of your paper open. You are taking all of your notes on the right-hand side of your paper. Today we're going to be talking about class inequality, which is caused by an unequal distribution of power, privilege, and wealth. Max Weber, a sociologist, identified class inequality by giving it 3 characteristics. He said that we have power, class, and status. Power is the ability to control others within society. Class focuses on wealth, income, and assets. And status is the reputation that one has. For example, if we take a look at Thomas Jefferson, he had power. He had the ability to control others, being the founding father, also a slave owner. Class. This was something that we saw change throughout his time, throughout his lifetime. He was wealthy at one point, but by the time he died, he had very little income and or assets. However, his status and reputation was very high. People had a lot of respect for Thomas Jefferson. What we notice about this is that he had inconsistent status because all 3 things did not align for him. We note that that can cause frustration and dissatisfaction amongst individuals when they don't have all 3 that align. So either all 3 being high or all 3 being low or all 3 being somewhere in the middle. A few examples of some inequality that we see is in the homeless population. What you'll focus on here is the red. And where we see a problem is when the red is higher than the blue. So for example, the majority of the homeless population are going to be men. We see more males that are homeless versus non. There also tend to be Black and tend to be in the age group of 31 to 50. So we know that as a society, we need to focus on males who are Black and between the ages of 31 and 50 when it comes to the homelessness population in our country. This just gives an example, a visual example of the inequality that we see within our society. Another chart on inequality, we tend to see a huge pay gap inequality between college graduates and those who did not graduate from high school. In 2009, on average, students with a high school diploma made less than $600 per week, probably closer to the $500 and $400 a week range, versus college graduates who tend to make between $1,000 to $1,200 a week based off of their degree. This is why you need to go to college. Some more inequalities that we see within our society. How much the median weekly earnings can be. We can see, we see for cleaners, we tend to see them make around $500 a week versus chief executives, so CEOs of companies, which make around $2,000 a week. And you can see how it goes up from there. Some ideas to focus on for careers. Nurses, good ones. Mechanical engineers, and any type of engineering is great. If we then come over to the other side of the chart, we can see the gender inequalities, men versus women. The first few, we tend to see majority of women. The second, we tend to see majority of men. So the inequalities that we also see, not only in pay, but also in jobs being held by those. Also notice the majority of the jobs, nursing jobs, are held by women, but they are only making on average maybe about $1,200 a week. We see the majority of jobs held by men are these chief executives, and they're automatically making around $2,000 per week. So again, not only is there a pay difference in inequality, but we also see an inequality in males versus females as far as pay. Some more notes that I want you to write down in your notebook. Sociologist Karl Marx believed that there were two classes. You had the haves and the have-nots. Essentially the bourgeois and the proletariat. The proletariats. So the haves would take advantage of the lower class. They were the rich, the upper class. The have-nots were the working class that were typically taken advantage from the upper class. Today's society in the United States, we tend to view it as three classes: the upper, the middle, and the lower. We've even divided those classes a little bit further to have upper middle class, upper lower class, and lower class. Because of this and the inequalities that we've seen in the other slides, the United States is number 17th, ranked amongst 40 other nations for the quality of life. Part of the reason for that is because we've only scored a 1.4 out of 10 for income equality. Because again, looking back at the charts that you all saw before, showing how much inequality we have within our society. What I would like you to go ahead and do for me now is go back to this note slide and your first note slide and write your main ideas in this left-hand column of your notes page. That is what I'm going to check for when I do your check with your exit ticket, is what main ideas you write in this column in your notebook. This is the exit ticket. Identify the features of class inequality. You can go back and use your notes, the notes that we took today in class, you will use to answer that question. I want you to be as specific as possible and use the examples from your notes to answer this question. You can answer it in your notebook, but you'll also need to write it on the exit ticket that you will submit to me. And that is it for class inequality.